Give me a fundamental breakdown between Danny Jacobs and Canelo.
Okay, well, I think, we're going to start out with Danny Jacobs first. Danny Jacobs, he's a decent fighter, but the way he moves, he's very, he moves with looseness. He got real nice movement, but I think his problem is he doesn't commit to his punches. He don't follow through with his punches like he can. And it's not because he don't know how. I think it's questionable with his heart. I don't think his heart is where his mouth put it to be, you know.
Explain when you say his heart doesn't help him commit to his punches.
Well, you know, certain people, you know, like when they fight, they doesn't commit like they can because they worry about the other person, what the other person capable of doing to them. So I don't think, you know, I think he's gonna be pretty much on the edge of what Canelo gonna do to him. And Alvarez, on the other hand, Alvarez should, you know, walk through Danny Jacobs because he gonna have a better jab. I think he's gonna have a better jab. I think his footwork is gonna be better. And don't get me wrong, Danny Jacobs moves good and everything, but I think Alvarez is gonna be moving more fundamentally sound. Danny Jacobs makes a few moves that when he do move, sometimes he don't know why he moving, whereas though Alvarez, the difference between Alvarez when he moves, I think Alvarez is going to be moving economically, trying to get to you, trying to break you down, trying to walk you down. Or if he have to backpedal, I think he's going to backpedal on angles and always stay in the circle instead of going straight back, which is going to make a difference where he won't never be caught up in a situation that he cannot get out of.
Do you think Danny Jacobs could win if he stays on the outside, or what scenario would it take for Jacobs to win the fight?
Well, he got all the capabilities to win the fight, but I just don't think he's gonna win the fight. I don't think, you know, I don't think it's hard there to win the fight. You know, he talk a good game and everything, just like he had the opportunity to beat Triple G, and he didn't push himself like he could have. So by him not pushing, you know, to me he had Triple G beat, but then the hard portion came in. So when your hard portion came in, once you get that reputation, you know, to me, you got to prove to me that it's not like that, and so far I don't see that. You know, I see him still questionable with himself and question his own skill set. So he has to prove that to me. Right now, he hasn't proven that.
What more would he have had to do to beat Triple G?
Press him. He had to press Triple G, and he gotta take a chance. You know, he gotta. When he could have pressed Triple G more in the later rounds. He could have pressed him more, and he could have solidified the win. But it seemed like to me he let off the gas, and that's what made Triple G, you know, press the gas more on him.
When you say Canelo walks right through Jacobs, are you talking knockout?
Well, I don't think he's gonna walk right through him. Danny's still gonna show you that he can be, he got potential to win, but I don't think he's gonna win.
Do you think the winner of this fight goes to the top of the pound for pound list?
Well, the really pound for pound list to me right now is it's kind of in between as far as the number one guys, you know, because you know, some critics say Terrence Crawford is pound for pound. Some say Triple G the pound for pound. Some say Canelo the pound for pound. Me personally, I think I will give it to Canelo as the pound for pound. Why? Is because Canelo has fought more fights, and he has solidified more champions.
Would you say he's the pound for pound now, or if he beats Jacob, he's the pound for pound, or is he the pound for pound?
Well, you know, each fight changed the situation. So right now, I think he's the pound for pound right now.
And after Jacob, what are some other good matchups for Canelo at 160?
I think the Charlos brothers.
How do you think he does against Charlos?
Well, that's the fight I have to see, because one thing I can say, not be prejudiced or anything, African Americans, they move a little different. And, you know, to me, Canelo imitates movement like an African American. So African American people, they move a little different. So, you know, I have to see, you know, even though we're going to see him move with Danny Jacobs, but like I said, we seen him move with Danny Jacobs who have a loss. Whereas though this Charlo brother, he doesn't want a loss. So he's going to do everything in his power to stay undefeated. And, you know, whoever comes in the ring, he feel like he's the champion of the world already. So that's going to be more of an interesting fight for me.
When you say you move like a black fighter, can you describe that a little?
Well, like, you know, we move effortless. Like, to give you an example, Sugar Ray Robinson, Cornell Street P. Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. You know, we effortless movers. We get out we get out the way of punches, and it might look like to you we barely got away from that punch, but we been knew we was gonna get away from that punch. So, you know, and it's called effortless movement, and that's how African Americans move. And lately, with Canelo fight, ever since he fought Floyd, he's been effortless moving. So that's why I feel like he imitates an African American with his movement.
If you had to guess, how do you think he developed that movement? And the reason I ask is usually non-black fighters that move like that have a black trainer that taught it to them. And I don't think he has any black trainers in his camp.
Well, right now, because of social media, you can sit down and you can study films, you know, just like a text. You can study a footwork, you can study hand movement, head movement, you can study it. And, you know, you keep moving, you keep watching something over and over again, and you go and you try to emulate it, you know, time to time. Pretty much you get better and better with it. And, you know, the way you learn it is start sparring people who doesn't have that type of movement. And when you spar them, you start trying them movements, and you spar people that's not on your level, so you can get confidence of how to move like that. And once you learn how to move like that, then you take it from the sparring session into the real fight.
So speaking of Charlo brothers, what's your opinion on the other Charlo brother at 154?
Well, to me, I thought he won his fight. You know, it was close. It was close, and it was a tough fight. But he made it tough because of his fundamentals. And you know what I mean by his fundamentals. Every time he stepped to Tony Harris and jabbed Tony Harris, he take his right foot and swing it to the left. And every time he take his right foot and swing it to the left, Tony Harrison goes to his right. So when he goes towards his right, that makes him always be able to escape him. And Charlo can apply the pressure because he's always away for Tony Harrison to get out of the way. And Charlo is a pressure type fighter. And by him being a pressure type fighter, he couldn't press Tony Harris because Tony Harris was using his fundamentals by getting out the way. And always remember, if you're in a ring and it's a square ring and you keep going in circles, you'll never get caught up on the rope. So that's why, you know, I feel like the Charlos brother should, you know, I'm not gonna say get a new coach, but I'm just gonna say he needs to add somebody that really knows fundamentals more than, you know, because when he had Ronnie Shields, he fought the same way as well by swinging his feet to the left with his lead hand. When you swing your feet, if you orthodox and you swing your feet to your lead hand, which is your jab, you're never going to be able to cut the ring off. You're never going to be able to apply pressure. It's because you always taking your right foot and lead it to your left. And the only thing the person who's fighting you, all they have to do is step to their left, which is your right, and they'll never be pressed. So that's the reason why. He needs a little help as far as his fundamentals. You know, I wish he could reach out to me. I would gladly be happy to help him out with that, and I guarantee you it will make a difference in his career.
Do you think it's peculiar that he lost such a close fight to Harrison on his own promoter's card? Because it was a PBC card that he lost. Yeah,
well, Harrison's a PBC fighter as well.
Okay.
So, you know, by him being a PBC fighter as well, it's like, you know, it's kind of a shake-up, you know. It's like, I'll give you an example, Earl Smith and Mikey Garcia, but both PBC fighters, you know. They both promoted by Al Heyman. So I feel like even not to go against that, not to go away from that fight, Tony Harrison and Charlo, but I think that with Earl, you know, kind of had Garcia on the ropes, you know, as far as though it could have been a moment in that fight that I think he could have stopped Mike, but I think he, you know, just went on with just throwing punches and not really trying to press the issue, because again, you know, that would damage Mikey, who Mikey is, if he would have got stopped. So I don't think he did that. You know, he won unanimously and made it easy. And you know, his promoter, I think both of their promoters were satisfied with that.
What do you think about that fight?
Well, I thought Earl did what he was supposed to do. He kept his distance. He kept his foot space. He used the jab tremendously. He showed the world that he knew how to box, and I think really that he wanted to show the world he knew how to box, because, you know, me as a black fighter, African American fighter, and then you had so many legends and greats that was African American going against him. You know, I didn't ever hear not one Mexican world champion say Earl Spencer's gonna win the fight, but I heard a lot of African American men saying that Earl Spencer's gonna lose the fight because he can't box or he can't do this or that. Well, Earl just tried to prove to them, the great Sugar Ray Leonard, the great George Foreman, and people like them, that he can box. And that's what he went out there more to do, is to box instead of trying to dog walk Mikey down and try to just beat him up. He just went out there, well, he did beat him up, but he went out there and showed him that he can box, and he had fundamental skills, that he could use his distance and his footwork and everything, instead of just go out there and just walk him down and just didn't care what he threw at him and walked him down and punched him and bust him up. He didn't do that fight. He did the fundamental fight. He showed the world that he can box and he got skills.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think we don't support each other? Because the same thing happened with Floyd fighting before Pacquiao. A lot of black ex-champions.
Well, you know, we, for some odd reason, a group of individuals, African Americans, we never uplift each other, and I think that's because of the way we were raised, you know, to learn how to uplift one another. You know, we cannot share greatness with another person that's African American, but we can always talk about another race, which is like Mikey Garcia. You know, he's not an African American, so everybody gave him the ups and gave the African American man the down, which the African American man was the bigger man, the stronger man, and he was the world champion. And for some odd reason, we have a problem with, you know, uplifting each other. I think, you know, it's just some type of black cloud on us that we don't uplift each other. And why, I don't know the reason why, but, you know, I give all my praises to my brothers and my sisters. And I also, you know, I did another interview about Adrian Bowling and Robert Easton. Let me say this. There's nothing in the world that I'm trying to be disrespectful about. I love them brothers. I love them outside the ring. I love them when they fight. I'm one of their biggest fans. It's just that I see where they were making mistakes at, and I would like to help if I could, but if I can't, you know, I'm still entitled to speak in my mind and what I think that could help them out. I'm not there to speak negative about them. Like I said, I'm uplifting all my brothers and sisters, and I want my brothers and sisters to be the best in whatever they're going out to strive to be. So I don't want them to think that I have something negative about them, or it's derogatory towards them. You know, they did something I didn't do. They made world champions. You know, matter of fact, Adrian Bowling made 4th division world champion. So, you know, that's an accomplishment within itself. But like I said, you know, that was, you know, if you look at 2000, that was 19 years ago. You know, today's today, tomorrow, what you gonna do today? And you know, their careers is not over with. They still could become world champion again. All it is the fundamentals that they're missing and the discipline, you know. I think that if they bite down, either one of them bite down and get the right fundamental help, they still could be reigning world champions. And I still believe in them. And I still believe that they have a lot more years of being champion of the world.
After Adrian's last fight with Pacquiao, where do you see him going from here? Does he stay at 47? Does he go down?
Well, he's strong enough to stay at 47, but to me, I think he could dominate 140-pound division. And I think that he needs to just, you know, I think he could be good at either weight. You know, he could fluctuate from either weight because why? Well, he's very strong. But again, you know, 140 pounder could beat him as well with their skill set because, you know, his fundamentals got to get better. And also, I wasn't in the camp, but I'm pretty sure his eating habits got to get better. You know, you don't eat like a regular civilian when you becoming a world champion or you're trying to become a world champion. You doesn't eat like that. When you're an athlete, you eat like an athlete. When you a regular civilian, you eat like a regular civilian. When you're on vacation, you do what you want to do. But when you become the world champion, and when you want to become a world champion, you got to eat like an athlete. You got to condition your mind, your body, and your soul to be an athlete and be a world champion. And that's how you become successful.